So, hey kids, so right before I start this video, I want to thank you all for an overwhelming 1,000 views and a mostly positive reception. Me and my crew wouldn't be any more happier. So now we need to get on to the video. Thank you all for the positive reception and enjoy the vid. So, here's a quick history lesson. After 2014, Mascot Horror became this huge, big thing. Well, don't even need to say why it became huge. You know what came out. The glorious Five Nights at Freddy's. Which inspired countless fan games, one we're playing right now, Phasmophobia, Welcome to the Woods, and fan films and fan arts. But with FNAF, there are people who want to take inspiration or just straight up steal FNAF formula, and we're going to be talking about them right now.
1, 2, 3, sodomy street.
Here we go, kids.
Now, I know what you're all thinking, and wow, this must sound like such a badass game or a deathcore album. But nope, all you do is go through this hallway and flash your light at this thing. And alright, how about I go back to the beginning to the game? The game begins with a report of a guy named Tim Denson. Can't you even get away with naming yourself that? And then this cool comic intro, which is you falling into a broken apartment. And, well, just take a look at it yourself. Now, this reminds me of the opening of the movie Creepshow. I guarantee none of you have ever heard of it. Now, we have to talk about everything else. The gameplay of it is you going down this hallway, having to flash your light for the follower behind you. He's based off the Guppy from Meet the Feebles, not the Cookie Monster. The greeter, or how I like to call her, the bird who you have to flash your light to. And finally, the waiter, who you have to flash in the doorways. Also, fun fact, he was the last one added, since in the original concept art, it was an elephant named the Hunter, and he was going to charge at you, but due to budget restraints, they had to replace him with this piss yellow or green guy. Also, in the files, he's referred to as Muppet 3 and the Listener. Now, I guarantee his mechanic would have been a lot different than just looking in the hallways. Now, you have to go through all 7 levels, and notice how they recycle the same animation over and over again? Yep. I can't believe either. And after you go through all these 7 levels, you see this. Yep, that's a Weird Elmo thing. Now, the only thing I remember this game being known for is a DA game song. And there was also an FNF mod too. Oh, and the sequel. Now, this game was made after a year. And also, they had DA games, or DA games, due to the music. And I think the jump scare for the game. And yes, I know what's happening with them. I am aware. There's no reason to mention it. Now, the second game begins with this cool-ass comic sequence like the first game, and well, just take a look. Now, this game is a prequel, So the gameplay is just hide and seek with these two things: the Seeker and the Stalker. No, the other Stalker. The other Stalker. Now, who are identical, besides one will stay close to hiding spots. Also, you also have to hide where there is a blue light. Yeah, that's it. Sometimes in the middle of the level, you'll get a message from Elmo thing. Also, the buggers from the first game are here too as props. There's also a guy who will scream at you and alert the others, just called the Screamer. Also, for time to time, you have to seek and follow the pink orbs. Do that 10 times, and you'll get the ending. There's really nothing more to add besides the DA games got canned. Now, even though I want to say it's really bad, even though I really want to like the games, but it just has so much missed opportunities and this general cheap look to it. But I do think the new one, 99 and Evolutions, looks cool. Also, it's kind of odd that there's been 4 attempts to parody the Muppets and Sesame Streets in Mascot horror, or just in film general. And I wish Impulse the best of luck to their next game. And now to our next. Emily Wants to Play, previously just known as Emily, not to be confused with Emily Is Away. What, does anyone even know what that is? Alright, back on track. Is a FNAF-like game that was released in 2015. The game is about you, a delivery guy, going into an abandoned house and getting locked up in there. While you're in there, you notice all these dolls scattered around the place and a whiteboard. And a little pale girl that shows up and disappears. A little bit after, you go to your first real hour, 12 a.m., and this is what the whiteboard says. Yep, you just need to do the opposite of what the whiteboard says. So you see those dolls? Yep, one of them will start moving. The weird Japanese white one will start moving, and if you hear her giggle, you need to turn around and look at her. Then you do that, and then the next hour, and you can see a clown named Mr. Tatters. Also, it's probably a good time to say that the Japanese doll's name is Kiki. Now, for Tatters, you have to play red light and green light, which, yes, did exist before the day of the Squid Game. So, for him, you don't move at all. Then, the next hours passes, and you have to run away from this quick-ass kid. You have to run like Shane Dawson, and the cat has just came out of the bag with the allegations. Also, he looks like Slappy so much. His name is Chester. No, not the monkey, the doll. Now, the next hour is when you have to face all of them. 4 a.m. After that, you play hide and seek with Emily. Hey kids, editing QV here. I want to say I got it mixed up. 4 a.m. is with Emily, and 5 a.m. is with all of them. Goodbye. Now, this is probably a good time to mention that there's a lever that you can pull to get access to the basement. So yes, that to hide from her cancer... I meant to put cracker, but in the script it put cancer at aw. Then you find them all. After that, you get to 6 a.m. And that's how it ends. Yeah. Here's the ending.
A local pizza delivery person claims that he was trapped and attacked by dolls and a young girl on his last delivery. The location was the same as the one involved in the current death of 2 locals. Police investigated the house again, but everything appeared untouched since last month, when 2 bodies were found at the same residence. A box of dolls matching the delivery man's description was recovered. The police cannot determine if this is somehow connected to the mysterious deaths. The pizza delivery man is now under psychiatric evaluation while the investigation continues. Please stay tuned for the weather.
They believe you're crazy. Now, this game had a sequel, which I will not cover, due to me only covering games from 2014 to 16. And there has been talks for a 3rd game for years now, and it's said to be a crossover between the developer's other game, Pacify. Now, my personal, probably controversial opinion, I wish FNAF to copy this game instead of BioShock. Even though I liked Secret the Mimic, and it was good, it just didn't feel like FNAF. But Emily Wants to Play does. Now, to our next game. Oh, hell yeah, I finally get to talk about this underrated gem. Now, this game was originally released on July 7th, 2015 as a demo on Game Jolt, a couple days before FNAF 4. I think you'll see why I'll mention that game in a bit. So the game starts on Monday and has you reading this Dr. Seuss-like book about these little black creatures called night blights. And it's also probably a good time to mention that they are based off the 1980 film Hobgoblins, which itself is based off the 1986 film Critters, which itself is based off the 1985 film Ghoulies, which itself is based off the 1985 film Gremlins. Now, in this little book, they speak about how they will come out of your wardrobes and you will need to feed them 2 toys. And there's 2 of them underneath your parents' bed and your sister's bed. Ooh. And the toys are located all over the place, so have fun trying to find them. Also, they will sometimes leave messages for you, like "You shall die" and Heisenberg. And whenever you hear them say "Feed me," just like the kids in the basement, like I haven't fed them in 8 days, go to your parents' room. If you hear one say "Hungry," then go to your sister's room. Now, the ones in the wardrobe and the fridge will open from time to time. Just shut them. However, if they do get out, don't worry. Because if you have to be real careful when you're going to the corner. If you hear one breathe, that means you know where they are. But after a little bit, they'll leave. Now, on Tuesday comes and gives us lore. When you learn that night blights can only be seen by children, that means you're a child. Well, isn't that obvious? Also, they'll try to kill your baby brother. Now, this night, they'll get through the garage. Now, if they kill the baby brother, then it's game over. Just like if they kill the parents and the sister. Now, they will try to trick you like gremlins into getting into the car. And just waste your time so they can either get out or kill one of your parents or relatives. And they'll also make tricks like making signs that say free toys and them trying to take one. And sometimes it's a real thing or it's just one of them hidden in toys. And also, they'll push a beach ball down the stairs. Unfortunately, there's no footage of this. And also, they'll be in a jack-in-a-box and a fake-out jump scare. Will move your teddy bear and possess it, and also spawn under your brother's crib and call you, in which they say, "Are my children bothering you?" So does this mean that there's a mom of night blights, or do they reproduce asexually like the Mogwais from Gremlins? Who knows? Now, I think that's all their tricks and traps. Now, on Wednesday, we'll try to go through the toilet, and one will try to come through the fire, and that's it. Also, for the ones for the fire, you have to be real careful because they'll, it won't make any sound. And that's it. Now, the next night, Thursday, they'll be in the plants and the vents. Now, that's all. There's really nothing new. On Friday, there's an attic, and there's another wardrobe. Also, there's a fun fact. There's a reference to the movie Beetlejuice. Also, there's tons of references in this game. It's like, you got Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Dragon Ball, I think, Last of Us, and I think Spyro because, I don't know, I only played Skylanders. Now, that's it for Friday. It's like FNAF Night 5, just to test all your skills. Also, I forgot to mention, if you run too much, you will fall asleep. Now, on Saturday, you're acting like an American kid there at school and try to shoot them all. But you need to get all the parts first. So on Saturday, you will have to get all the parts, go through all these places and studies. Then on Sunday, you have to shoot them all. Go Doom style, Doom Slayer on them. And that's it for the game. Now, there was a sequel planned, but it's been in development hell for years. Since in the game, there's a secret VHS you can find. One parody's King Kong, the other one is whatever. And the final piece is a POV shot of a night blight in a park. Also, there's a calendar you can find that says camping trip will happen next week. But it's unfortunate, but since the developer is a university teacher in the UK, and is busy, very busy, and said that they will work on the second game on their free time. And this game has forever stuck to me, just like other obscure games like Night Lights, Murder at manner every year is Vincent, a beautiful game, and going nowhere. Or maybe someday the other games will get the attention they deserve. Now to our next game.
I am so deeply sorry to interrupt the video, but you know that most of you aren't subscribed to the channel and haven't even clicked the like button yet. Yes, you should. Can you know, please like the button to make your dear old Nicholas happy. Like I just say, time to go back to the video. See ya.
Sophie's Curse, not to be confused with Sophia's Curse, like I said at the end of the last video, is a 2016 horror game. It's a game where you, a nurse, make her white, make her sexier, thank you. Don't blame me, it's in the game. And now, if this sounds familiar, tell me. You have to keep the lights are on and you're safe. Do. But if those lights are off, she'll come find you and rip you a brand new face. Okay, I think I may have over-exaggerated the One Night at Flumpty's 2 simulations. That's not the only thing you over-exaggerated, you pervert. Go to hell, you drawing. Now, like I was saying, yes, it tries to copy FNAF's point-and-click format with you having to wind up these lights and going to your computer from time to time. And that's all I really can say about the gameplay. And, oh yeah, you have to try to avoid her if she's in the room. Now, the story as well. You're a white nurse who is, of course, trying to watch out for an elderly patient. But you quickly learn that there's no elderly patient, but instead a ghost named Sophie. Blah, blah, blah. You learn that she was killed by one of her friends. Now, this game is quite obscure nowadays. Like, I'm talking not even a fandom wiki. Not even a fan song. Even Nightblights had one.
That's not someplace that gives a family joy. And we're dodging.
This doesn't really sound all that bad. I wonder what the creator's doing now. They were sent to prison for owning child exploitation material. Now, after this, the devs tried to make 2 more point-and-click horror games in this genre. One I can't find anything about, and the other is where you have to hide from a big black man in his underwear. Reminds me of someone. And that's really it. Time for our next one. Yep. Case animatronics. Alright, I want to talk about before this game was released. Hell, before this game even came out. See this wolf guy? Well, originally he was a panda bear, but due to Scott Cawthon himself asking them to change it to a big red wolf. Also, I know that people say that this game is illegal, but here's the thing. Scott doesn't own the idea of robot animals, he owns specific robot animals. Also, this game apparently has real missing posters of Jewish folk, I think. And people started, but it was made in Russia, and I'm pretty sure they were just trying to find stock images. And I think thanks to people like Theft Kings, they started spreading misinformation of the devs being anti-Semitic or something like that. But honestly, Theft King is a whole can of worms and probably relapsed on meth, judging by what he makes now. And he still puts King Carter in his videos. Jesus Christ. I'm guessing he lives in his head rent-free. Alright, now back on topic. So this game begins with you waking up with a phone call. And we'll listen to the voice acting.
I fell asleep. It's almost midnight.
Pretty bad, not gonna lie. But after that, you head to a place because the power went out, and this happens.
Whoa, what a terrible dream. Is it midnight already? Time to go home. Night call. I hope not.
It was all just a dream. Ooh. Now, shortly after this, you have to do it again, but you don't die this time. And you finally meet the wolf. And he just walks around the police station, nothing special. And will run at you if he sees you. But you can just hide or look at your little tablet to see where he's at. And yes, your tablet is the camera system in the game. Or hide in the lockers. Did I mention that this game was also inspired by Outlast? Then the power goes out and you have to turn it on. Also, while you're wandering around the building, you'll see this deactivated cat robot on the ground. Afterwards, you find a key card, and they will always repeat the same sentence. Once you turn it back on, yep, this cat is now out of the bag and now moving around. And she will use the vent, Among Us joke goes here, and that's it. Also, she looks so much like the cat from She looks like old Candy from Five Nights at Candy's, I'm not gonna lie. After that, your tablet dies and you have to turn it back on by doing this card game. And also, guess who shows up? The bear. This isn't... Sorry for that quick thing. My cat is currently loving on me so much. Yeah, I love you too, Butters. Now, like I was saying, yeah, the bear haunts the game. This is going to be the last time we'll see the bear. He haunts the game like FNAF Plus does with the main series. Now, as after this, find a key card and then some lore dumps. Like a guy who is calling you is named DJ Scott. You can't make this up. And after that, you have to survive until 3 a.m. 15 minutes later, now you go into an investigation room and meet the owl. The coolest one in my opinion, because she will always stare at you, even if you're behind her. Also, her mechanic is just like Ben from Spookies and SCP-173, and now, she was the last one added. Now after that, hey, look who it is again, the bear! Also, I forgot to mention that there was also, according to Wiki, a golden bear. I cannot find anything about it other than the wiki mentioning it. Now finally, at a random point, these buggers will turn off, and there will be a key card that you will need to get out. Yep. And then you get out and, well, this happens.
Hello, Bishop.
Yep, they kidnap you and they make a second game. But just like Emily, I will not be covering it since it came out in 2018. Now to our next game. Oh god, this is just FNAF. So much so that Scott Cawthon actually took down the game. But then it was remade as Dolls Reborn, which you can walk around and still download. And there's also another game I'm genuinely surprised Scott never took down. Cluck Yeager and Escape from Planet Poltron. Another very familiar game that has a chicken that sounds like Joe from Family Guy. It also has a Wikipedia article about it. Odd that these games exist. Now to our next one. So, kids, I want you to guess what the final game we're gonna cover is. Do you think it's one? Well, no. Do you think it's A, Tattletale, a game that everyone remembers and everyone still even talks about, not as much, but still talks about to this day, or the Boogeyman from 2015, a game that no one seems to remember or really care about. Okay, what do you think it is? It's the Boogeyman. If y'all want to go watch a video about Tattletale, go watch this one. It's actually good. Yeah, time to go on with it. Let's go. Ah, yes, the final one on our list. So this game has two versions, 2015 and an updated version. I'll be talking about the new one since it doesn't really have much of substance. And yeah, I know some of this will be cheating, but hey, it came out in 2015, so it counts. So, the game starts with you getting a phone call from a little British girl telling you about the Boogeyman. Now, the Boogeyman is in folklore, doesn't have a form, but in the game, he looks like this. Now, there are 5 ways the Boogeyman can get into your room. The vents on top, the windows, under your bed, of course, the closet, of course, make sure he's not gay or if the friendly one's in there. And finally, your door. You also have a flashlight you use on him, since he hates light like any Discord gooner. So you have to look, and the lights will drain, but if you look to your right, you can see how much you have, like the power from FNAF 1. Now you have to look under your bed for, batteries that are usually under there, but you have to be quick since the Boogeyman will show up. Now after each night, there is a free roam part where you have to find your flashlight and other objects that will help you. Once you do all that, head to the door and now night 2. And oh yeah, you also find out your name's Thomas. Now night 2 is the same thing besides the Boogeyman is quicker and will play around with the environment, like making the little chimp go, the symbol chimps. Yeah. And that's all he does. And there's really nothing other than the sit and survive parts other than that. Like, there's really no other character besides the Boogeyman in these parts. However, the free roam parts will change. And you will need to look out for a ghost girl, and you need to watch it for the Boogeyman. If and he'll show up in a room, and you will have to close the door immediately, and then open it back up for him to be gone. And for the ghost girl, you just need to avoid her. Now, if you beat him one final time, you will find a book talking about the Boogeyman, and that's it for the game. Now, the game was followed by a sequel, a spin-off about Frosty the Snowman, and a third game no one cares about. Also, a short story, 4 movies, and that's all. Also, the last 2 just mentioned may or may not have anything to do with the Boogeyman games. So, everyone, I hope you all liked all those games I covered. And also, I want to rehearse. I am not a Mascot horror YouTuber, and I don't want to become one of these.
Oh my god, this game's so bad it makes me want to give myself a second circumcision with Play-Doh scissors. I'd rather be watching Kurt Cobain analog horror than this. I would rather be killing 15 people than this. I'd rather be in the Holocaust. I hate those. And is it bad I wanna be Pete? What the Funky Town is a song made by Limps Inc. in 1980.
Now, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and hopefully, well, because I have other things I want to cover, like maybe talking about childhood YouTubers, that maybe one day I'll talk about, the rabbit hole videos I've been working on for about a year now, or an hour-and-a-half documentary on the Mango Tango FNAF World roleplay. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and go, hey, it's me, Wobbin. Oh, hey, Wobbin. My name's Wobbin. Hard door. Yeah, I know. What do you want? Do you want to know if you can go to the description? There's an unused video. Hey, ow. Don't ignore him. Let's just cut to the outro.